everyone, and welcome back to the Scare Me Straight podcast. I'm your host, Nichole.
I'm Alexa.
I'm Jonathan.
Okay, how's everyone doing tonight? How are we feeling?
We're in episode 4, guys.
Yay.
I'm feeling pretty pumped.
That's exciting.
And I don't think any of us got abducted, so I guess we're doing well.
That's unfortunate. I was hoping I wouldn't have to go to work anymore.
No probing. No probing.
Unfortunately.
So before I start this episode, I do want to ask you guys, how are you feeling physically?
Okay. A little tired maybe, but that's a constant state of occurrence. So
okay. John?
I would agree with Lex. Tired, but I have learned that being tired is now my constant. So I roll with it. Other than that, though, I'm good.
It runs in the family.
Okay. So just the only thing we're feeling right now is tired.
Why are you? I'm really scared. Why are you asking?
Am I supposed to feel something other than that physically?
I don't know. We're gonna find out later as we progress through this episode. So today I want to talk to you guys about a haunted object, and it's Peggy the Doll.
This bitch's name is Peggy.
Nah, let's hang up right now. We're done with this episode.
So today we're going to be talking about Peggy the Doll, and her story begins overseas in the UK and England. So initially she was purchased at a car boot sale, which is like the UK version of a swap meet flea market. So the buyer reported hearing footsteps outside of her bedroom, a figure at the end of her bed, and waking up at 3 a.m. each night, which, if you guys don't know,
is the witching hour.
3 a.m. is the witching hour.
Before we continue, because I don't really know what that means, can you guys elaborate on that for me? Like, what does that mean?
That's when like the veil between our world and the next is the thinnest.
And so like spooky things can come and get me?
Yeah, things can cross over into our world a little bit more easily.
And is that like from like demons and stuff, or just
any supernatural type thing?
And so it's 3 a.m. to what?
I don't know.
Like 4:30, 5, like what time should I be avoiding in the morning like that?
John's like, I'm up at 5. We need to make sure we're at the right time.
I get up at 4. So like, am I getting up during the witching hour?
Well, I know it starts at 3 a.m. As to what time it ends, I don't know.
How do you feel when you wake up? Do you feel a little like people are watching you?
No, we're not even. I don't like this because that's suggestive, which means tomorrow when I wake up at 4 o'clock, I'm gonna think people are watching me. All right, so witching hour. The veil is open.
She's waking up each night at 3 a.m. She's hearing scratching sounds within the walls. She could hear the bathroom light turning on and off. Buyer sent an email to Jane Harris, who's a paranormal investigator that kind of specializes in haunted dolls. She had a website called, hauntedDolls.com, I believe.
Oh, I'm surprised she was able to buy that domain name.
I thought the same thing immediately.
Like, damn, girl.
In the email, the buyer stated, "I can't sleep at all, and today is now the 5th day that I've been awake. No sleep at all. There's a figure that comes to me at night, stands at the foot of my bed. It's dark, a lady, I think, but doesn't move or speak. I end up frozen to the bed in fear. I try to put a cross on my wall and pray to Jesus, but it doesn't help."
Jeebus, help us. So this woman wrote this letter to the woman that owns hauntedDolls.com.
I don't know if that's the exact name, but it is Haunted Dolls.
Okay.
Something or the other.
/HTML. Okay. And she's seeing ghosts at the bottom, a woman at the bottom of her bed, the foot of her bed.
But not the doll, like an actual, what seems to be a woman.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Peggy.
Do we know how much she bought the doll for? Maybe Peggy's just a little like $2, really, bitch. Like,
I mean,
maybe she's a little upset.
if they got them at like a yard sale in the
I do
UK.
not know what her monetary value was.
We gotta find this out.
Well, and then we'd have to do a conversion too, because don't they have different money?
Mhm.
So she's like 4 pounds, shillings, shellings.
Not the shillings.
Listen, I'm learning a lot today. Okay.
Oh Lord.
Do we wait? So when was this? Was there a year that you mentioned?
Oh yeah, this is relatively recent. It's in the 2014 is when all this starts.
Ooh,
So,
pegs.
so there are people in the year of 2023 buying old dolls still?
People
Oh
will
sure,
go.
there's a market for that.
People go out of their way to buy quote unquote haunted dolls. Not saying that I know this woman didn't know that she was haunted, but a lot of people do.
Oh no, the lady who bought it did not know. She just thought she was buying a doll.
Okay.
All right. I'm
So
ready. Continue.
in September of 2014, Jane Harris, along with her husband Simon and local psychic Hazel Myers, drove the 90 minutes to meet with the buyer. Hazel mentions during the car ride, "When I asked my guides to surround me with light and protection, the face of a man appeared and whispered, 'They won't help.'"
Oh, wait.
So like she just saw a face like in front of her?
This is the psychic. I don't know how this man
Oh.
came to her, but like when they say they won't help, what is like? What do they mean by that? Like they won't help because there's nothing they can do to help you, or they're like, we're not helping you because we're not getting involved
or
with
was
what you're
that
about to get involved with.
or was that the diamond being like, they can't help you now?
And trying to
Yeah.
scare her.
Yeah.
Listen, if I was a spirit guide and I saw you willingly go to a flea market and buy that doll, you're on your own, girl. I'm not helping you. I'm not sending you messages, nothing. Mm-mm.
Imagine John as a spirit guide.
I told you 3 times.
I tried to redirect you from going to that lady and buying that doll, but you wanted it and you bought it. Nope.
You misread the little butterflies in your belly.
Yeah, that meant go away, run away from that.
Mhm.
I also feel like so is it me or did the family kind of jump to the idea of like getting a spirit guide or I'm sorry, like a psychic involved really fast?
No. They've had her. Like, so Jane Harris is a paranormal investigator. She's been a paranormal investigator, I think, at this point in 2014 for about 17 years now. So, and she's worked with Hazel Myers a lot. So it's not like they like randomly decided to like
Okay.
go out and get one. Like they had her in their arsenal. Like Hazel was a good friend.
Okay.
So
That
yeah,
makes
they're
more
just all
sense.
going together to get this doll. So they are led to a shed outside where Peggy is kept rolled up inside of a red blanket.
Guys.
I'd be pissed too.
Guys, what are we doing?
You got me up in a red blanket.
It's 2014. Have you never seen one horror movie? One. Just
This
one.
woman said, "Not in my house, not anymore." Peggy, you go to the shed.
A red blanket?
So they put the doll in a red blanket, put her away somewhere
In
and
the
like
shed
in
outside.
the shed, and that's that. They were just like, we're good, period. Like we don't need to do anything else with this.
Well, this is the buyer who put it in the shed. It was like, "Jane Harris, come get this, please."
Oh,
She
boy.
wanted nothing to do with it. Hazel Myers was the first to retrieve the doll, but reports feeling lightheaded and nauseous. When the original owner asked if she wanted to be kept updated, she said, "The doll nearly ruined my life. I want to forget it ever existed, and I hope God protects you all." So she said, "I don't want to see her, hear her ever again."
Okay.
Good for her.
Okay.
I'm
She
right there
said-
with her.
Closed adoption.
Close.
So, bringing Peggy home, they set up the doll in an isolated spot with different types of equipment, including night vision cameras, digital cameras, motion detector, temperature gauges, EMF readers, so on and so forth. The equipment showed no conclusive evidence, and Harris left Peggy be. So, there was really nothing going on with this doll. So, Jane Harris just let her vibe, left to her to herself.
So she just
Fair.
has this doll now and is chilling with it because she feels there's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm. So far, nothing has really come up with all the equipment.
Okay.
Okay, Jane.
6 weeks later, in November, Jane Harris begins suffering from fatigue, migraines, nausea, dizziness. So first, she's just believing this illness to be like her hectic lifestyle. She has kids, but 3 separate doctors' visits showed no signs of illness. Not wanting to believe the doll was responsible, Harris and Peggy met with local medium and clairvoyant named Patricia Redmond on November 5th. Deciding to leave Peggy in the car, Harris is headed inside and met with Redmond, who stated, "Your friend can come inside too."
Oh. Okay.
Wait, do we know if this medium knew about the doll?
Prior.
She did not know
Oh.
anything.
Your friend can come inside too.
So Jane
Nah.
Harris is like kind of looking at her confused, and the psychic, "I saw you arrive. Your friends might be cold, just a thought." So Harris is like, "I came alone." Redmond says, "Wasn't there a man and woman with you when you pulled up?" Immediately after that happened, the psychic Redmond cancels, claiming she was starting to get a headache and that the energy in the room was too heavy.
Wow.
So now there's Peggy and an unnamed man.
And a woman. That's who the clairvoyant saw in the car. And then she was like, "Actually, we can't do this meeting."
The energy was too heavy. That's
Mhm.
interesting. I think that's the last thing you want to hear when your clairvoyant thinks that the energy in the room is a little too much.
Yeah. And actually like does not want to be involved with what you're doing.
Does she ever go back and say, like, clarify as to why she decided to, other than that the energy was heavy? But
Nope, this was a third party kind of psychic medium that she went under like with a false name and stuff, so that she can get kind of like an unbiased opinion.
okay,
Hmm.
that's interesting.
Mhm. So November 13th, Hazel Myers takes Peggy in hopes of Harris feeling better. And after 4 days of being Peggy free, Jane starts to feel better. She contributes her illness to something called psychic drain or psychic attack.
So she no longer has Peggy.
No, Peggy is now with Hazel Myers, which is the psychic.
Keep
So,
going.
the first photo of Peggy was posted to Jane Harris' website on February 25th, and within 24 hours, she began to receive an influx of messages. In the photo of Peggy, you can see she's wearing a rosary. Among those messages received on the 25th, almost 30 of them mentioned removing the rosary. Some claiming that they were hearing a voice telling them that the spirit hated the symbol. Some had dreams that it would provoke negative reactions, and others just like had a gut feeling that she should not have it on her. And actually, a couple people said that there were a few who mentioned Jewish connections and linked to the Holocaust.
Whoa, wait. Everyone's really making some leaps and bounds right now. So this doll has a rosary on it. Everyone's freaking the flip out about her having this rosary on her. And now they're making connections to the Holocaust as well.
Yeah, some people said that they felt a Jewish connection or a connection to the Holocaust with
Oh,
this doll.
shut the front door. So
Mhm.
is the spirit a Jewish woman? And people are like, I don't think she should be wearing the rosary because that's not her religion.
Yes, some people do feel that. Yes.
I do agree with Lex. That is a leap and a bound. Like, how are you going to assume that that doll is, I don't know, Jewish or has a Jewish ancestry background, ghost? And
Some people just have that kind of connection to the spiritual world.
And maybe they just got that vibe that she should not be wearing the rosary. Maybe
Mm.
she's very unhappy wearing the rosary.
I have a very similar reaction that Nichole did to Terry Lovelace right now. So
Oh, she fighting.
we'll let it
Wow.
go. We'll see.
Are you talking
Oh,
against the
no.
people that are
Yeah,
writing
these people
in,
that are just
or-
writing in and talking about this doll that was wearing a rosary. Like,
I mean, people will speculate in any way possible. So,
Yeah.
you know, as soon as you see a creepy doll with a rosary on it, I mean, people automatically are going to have an issue with that.
I guess, yeah. All right.
Right. So let's fast forward a little bit to mid-March. So Jane Harris
Okay.
and Hazel Myers decide that they want to do an automatic writing session,
Oh,
which is like, I don't want to say the human version of a Ouija board, but basically Hazel Myers is going to have a piece of paper and a pen, and the spirit is going to communicate through her and write things down. So while on the way, Harris decides to take a video, kind of like a mini vlog. Again, this is 2014, like height of YouTube. So after posting the video, it glitches out and disappears. And then she receives a comment under the video from a woman named Katrine saying that she's dizzy and her heart's racing.
whoa.
An hour later, Katrine suffers a heart attack.
Oh, I just got chills for some reason. I don't know. I don't like this story very much. Now, but the video was taken down or it glitched in some way. So
she posts the video on her Facebook. It kind of like glitches out and disappears and then comes back up. And that's where she sees like this comment from the woman named Katrine, at first saying that she's dizzy, like her heart's racing. And then an hour later, she has a heart attack.
also, ma'am, if you are having a cardiac arrest, you need to be calling 911. Don't be posting that shit on
Why
YouTube.
are you posting? Yeah,
Ma'am,
why are you posting comments?
I
She
can't
didn't-
help you.
She had the heart attack an hour after.
She's still feeling dizzy.
But I don't go up on Lexi's Facebook or your Instagram and say, Nichole, I don't really feel good right now. Like, I'm not sending you that message.
Nichole, I may pass out, but I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to comment.
Yeah, she's just watching this video of Peggy and is like, I feel dizzy. On March 30th, Jane Harris takes Peggy to a church where they attempt to communicate with Peggy. Amongst the group is Jane Harris, Hazel Myers, the husband Simon, Reverend Martin Jenkins, and Donna Griffiths, who is acting as a note taker. So they start the session by Hazel asking if Peggy is present twice. Both times they get a response from the EMF meter, and Hazel at this time also sees a woman standing by the altar shaking her head.
Oh, just a random lady at the altar.
Yeah.
Who
Is
was not
she-
there previously?
No.
I'm assuming she's shaking her head in disagreement.
I could
Or
not
is she
confirm or
like-
deny. She was
Yeah.
nodding.
He's like, yes,
No.
queens.
So using a pendulum board, Hazel begins asking a series of questions. So I'm going to read you guys the questions and then give you guys the answer.
Okay.
Oof.
Do you fear crossing over into the light? No fear. And then there's a pause. Next. Girl's ready for her questions.
Thank you. Next.
Peggy literally was like, next question.
Challenge me a little bit. Peggy does sound a little sassy, doesn't
A
she?
little bit, yeah.
You will
Mhm.
come to learn that she is a little sassy
A
one.
little sass. Okay.
Are you happy to be communicating with us? Happy is the response. Another pause. More. Were you responsible for a recent health problem? No. Are you aware of the lady we mean? Katrine? No. Another pause. Weak.
Oh. Is she a
Weak,
weak ass
like,
bitch?
Weak. Like, did she just call that bitch weak? Oh my god, Peggy!
She couldn't
Chill the
handle
fuck
my
out.
video. So she's a weak.
So
Peggy.
Hazel
Oh, man.
clarifies. She's like, what do you mean? Take care, heart, help. Were you trying to help? Yes. Do you feel you have a purpose here? Yes. A pause. I know. What do you know? Too much for me.
Wow.
Peggy girl.
So during all of this that's happening, Donna does mention that she hears laughter. No one else does, but they all do hear tapping sounds during this session.
Donna's the note taker.
Donna's the note taker, yes. So Hazel asked Peggy to step forward, and at this point, the temperature has dropped from 16 degrees to 8 degrees, or 60 degrees to 46 if you're American Fahrenheit.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I did do the conversions. So Jane Harris comments that she can see her, and then 3 minutes later, Hazel says she vanishes. Simon says that he felt someone's hand touch his shoulder, and they spend the next 15 minutes trying to make contact with Peggy again. So then the pendulum starts moving, and it says, Lindy, Harry, green star soon. So they're like, can you be clearer? Is this a warning? Yes.
Lindy, Harry, Green, Star,
Soon.
Soon.
Harry, Green, Star.
No idea what any of that meant.
Damn.
So now Jane is the one asking the questions and says, Peggy, do you need our help to move on? No. Pause. Tell them. Tell them what? She answers all. So at this point, the temperature goes back up to 16 degrees or 60 degrees, and Hazel asks if Peggy's still here, and they got no response. So they decided to end the session.
So does Jane know more than she lets on?
We don't know.
Because Peggy just called that bitch out. She's like, let him know. You know, let him know. And then fluttered away.
I didn't think about that.
She's like, bye. Go ahead, Jane.
Back into her little doll spirit.
What you know, Jane?
Peggy really is here, like starting to instigate some stuff.
She is.
At this point, because Peggy seems to be causing a lot of physical adverse reactions to the public, Jane Harris decides to make a private group for anyone who's still interested in receiving updates about Peggy. In April, Jane Harris decides to ask Peggy questions sent by followers and sets up in the basement. Harris records the session and posts it to a video to YouTube. The video goes viral and multiple media outlets are picking up the story. More people come forward with different ailments such as chest pains and headaches.
Can we watch the video?
We can watch the video. Now, I was going to show you the first photo of Peggy, and I did want to show you guys the video, but I wanted to ask if you guys were okay with watching it, knowing the physical reactions that it has caused people.
1, you know I'm down. 2, if something happens to me, that's a day off fucking work. So absolutely, let's watch this video.
So wait, it just fucking dawned on me that that's the video you want to show us, is the one that is apparently causing mayhem across like the world. Whoever's watching this fucking video. I don't know how I feel. How long do I have to decide?
John, you're in now. You're in.
Make the decision right now.
Oh,
so okay,
shit.
we'll start with the first photo of Peggy, which again, that was the one that like she got about 80 messages of people saying that they were like feeling unwell, headache, dizziness. Are you guys okay with seeing the photo at first?
I love how she asks permission.
I feel uncomfortable now.
She's a consent queen. I appreciate this.
Listen, you like in the other sentence you just read, Peggy is literally causing
heart attacks.
She's a public nuisance
to weak bitches.
No, but she's a public fucking nuisance. Like she is out here.
No, she said specifically that she did not cause that heart attack.
All right.
She says she's trying to help. And
John, you don't have to look at her.
No, I'm invested now. I'll do what y'all tell me to do.
I want you to know, John, that if I were Nichole, I would have not told you.
I know, and you would have just fucking shown me it.
Like,
and then
here's the video, guys.
And I'm like, oh yeah, this is so cute. And then all of a sudden, it would have like rang in my brain that this is the video.
Well, the reason why I wanted to ask you guys is because, well, all week while I was working on this, I was getting insane headaches.
But
now pause. If you ask Jen, who was with me while I was working on this episode, she would say it was because I wasn't wearing my glasses and I was reading things off of my phone. But I noticed it would only happen when I was working, like actively working on this and doing research and looking for things for Peggy. I was getting really bad headaches.
Oh, here she is.
Ew.
Oh.
So this was the first photo of Peggy that gets put online.
To all of our listeners out there, we're looking at a doll who has short blonde hair, kind of like a Karen cut almost.
It is. I mean, it is very stylized. She's very cute.
She's got very thin brown eyebrows. Her eyes are blue and stare right into your soul, and I'm staring at them, and they're making me extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't really want to look at this picture anymore.
Pink lips, a white like a white blousey type thing, and then the cross, which is just a silver basic rosary.
John can't look at it anymore. And
It was a very uncomfortable picture. I didn't like
Yeah,
that one. She was
yeah.
staring deep into me.
Like she
And I do
felt,
want to
she
say
did
to the
feel like a real
listeners,
doll.
you're going to have to hunt down this photo. I don't know if I'm okay with posting it to our Instagram. And I don't want somebody to be like, y'all, you posted this and
Yeah.
I had a stroke.
Before I watch this video,
Mhm.
what does she do? Like, what is the video of? Just a video of her?
It is a video of Jane Harris doing kind of like a EMF style reading with the doll.
Nichole, have
Okay.
you watched it yet?
I have not watched it yet. No.
Oh, interesting to see her fall.
John, you're safe to look back.
Yeah, she turned it off now. Okay, well, I am sweating. I will make that known. I am a little hot, but other
Again,
than
I
that-
have that same just like headache that I get whenever I'm working with Peggy.
honestly, staring at her made me feel extremely uneasy. So
Yeah.
I'm worried. And
Yeah,
she
that
did
was-
fall over in the video.
That was not something I'll ever look for again. I don't ever
Mhm.
want to see Peggy again. If I don't ever hear about Peggy again after tonight, I'll be glad.
Well, we have a lot more to discuss about Peggy.
Oh,
Oh,
'cause
there's
okay.
more.
Her journey is only just beginning.
Oh, shit.
Eggs. Let's go. John, you thought we were done.
I was like ready to go.
How did you, Nichole, how did you find out about this? This is just research, like deep dive.
Yeah, I was deep diving into. I knew I wanted to do an episode on haunted dolls, and I thought maybe I'll like cover a couple different dolls in one
Mhm.
episode. But like Peggy she's a one woman. She's like, I'm not sharing the spotlight with anyone.
Mhm.
So she got a whole episode to herself.
I'm still impressed that we have more.
Oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot more. So now we are in October of 2014. So October 23rd, it's decided to host a public event with Peggy so that those interested could meet her for themselves. So the event is hosted at the Haunted Derby Gull. Jane Harris decides to use an already haunted location in hopes of bringing a haunted object to this spot that's already present with ghosts and spirits can like open up a more clear doorway or portal. So she thinks that like it will more likely trigger a response from Peggy.
Y'all ghost people do the most. Like, why do you need to take that haunted ass doll to a haunted ass place to like expedite her hauntedness? I don't get it. Y'all too
Hey,
much.
Harris may actually be my idol now.
Oh, like her and I would be best friends. Like, first of all, she is absolutely like adorable looking. Like she looks like she'd just be part of the gang.
Mhm.
Jane Harris, if you're out there.
Oh my gosh, can you be on our podcast, Jane?
Jane Harris also decides to donate all the profits made from this event to the CLIC, Sargent Children's Cancer Charity. On the night, Peggy is placed inside of a cell with CCTV footage that guests can watch via a monitor in the day room of the Derby Gull. Jane Simon, medium named Ian Griffiths, and a paranormal investigator named Paul Bosworth are setting up in the cell next to Peggy. So Ian and Paul are using a talking board, which is kind of like a homemade Ouija board, but you kind of customize it to like, your preference. And like it kind of like could emit certain elements, and they ask if there's anybody in the room with them. Jane feels something push her back, like trying to make her fall over. And they briefly smell roses, which is really interesting because some say that the smell of roses indicate a spirit presence.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know
Didn't
that.
know that.
Mhm. Now, guests are beginning to arrive, and Jane goes over to the register to see if everyone's checked in, leaving the guests to kind of conduct their own investigations. Well, 10 minutes go by, and Simon approaches Jane saying that something has happened, that the glass moved and spelled out Peggy. So this is kind of like the first time we really get a name for her. So I think they've just been like referring to her as the doll up until this point.
Okay.
So now like Peggy's officially named. Jane notes that this is how she knows the spirit is wanted to be in front of an audience.
Wow, a little show gal.
She could have chosen any name, and she chose Peggy. All right, I'm good. Go ahead.
Maybe
Continue.
that was like her birth name. Like that's the name her mom
Yeah, but
gave
like
her.
if I'm a ghost, I'm not gonna call myself Jonathan. I'm gonna be like, I don't know, some crazy name.
Vladimir.
Like what?
Vladimir, I don't know. Sassafras, something. Give me something fun, not Peggy. Peggy, bitch. All right. I'm done. Tirade's over. Go ahead.
Oh no.
Peggy. If she comes for anybody, she's coming for you right now.
I know. Like I listen, my fists are up. If Peggy comes in here, we are posting up. We're fighting. So I'm ready for it.
Guys, we can't be known as a podcast that wants to fight everybody.
So one guest named Letitia was asked by Peggy to leave. So she did. But then she came back and felt a burning sensation between her legs. So she left the room again. And then after coming back for the third time, she had visions of a woman being raped. She asked Peggy if she can touch her, and she got the answer no and get out. Peggy said, I don't like you, bitch.
At least she asked. Peggy got that consent. So, you know.
Peggy did not give her consent.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, that's so like this is a possible vision of how Peggy may have died.
Wow. I wonder why she chose her specifically to give that vision.
Yeah.
I don't know. But also like why did she like not want her in the room? She probably had bad vibes. I'd want her to get out too.
Probably.
She's like threw all of her negative energy, negative juju onto that one woman.
But like after the first time she asked me to leave, best believe I'm not coming back.
For real. She asked that girl once and she came back.
If a haunted anything asked me to leave, I'm out. Like I'll leave right away.
Homegirl came back 3 times. She said the third time's a charm. Was not the charm. So Harris joins the group while they are asking questions that seem to be getting answers with proper timing via the EMF meter. So during this time, those who were watching the CCTV camera in the day room had seen a shadow to the left of the doll. Jane took photos inside the cell, one showing a shadow, and the rest of the night passed without much incident. And then they wrapped the session around 2:30 a.m. Now, do you guys want to see this photo?
Yes. More pictures, please.
Okay, let me pull it up. John's like, I'm done. I don't want to see any more photos of Peggy.
More pictures of this bitch.
Okay, so, but it's not that bad, I promise.
But this is of a photo of her at this event.
So this is the show that she took the picture of. Now, it's kind of hard because like, is it this here that's the shadow, or is that Jane taking the picture and this is the fucking shadow? Because this is honestly more terrifying than this.
Yeah, and where's Peggy supposed to be? She's supposed to be on the floor.
I think Peggy's like in the center of the room, and she was just trying to get a picture of the shadow through like this like little window cell.
So like when you said she was in a cell, I immediately thought like a jail cell.
Oh
so,
yeah,
like,
no, they're like at a haunted prison.
She's in a I would be pissed too.
Yeah,
I would be telling bitches to get out of my way.
She's probably like, stop taking me to these places. I do not want to be here. Just leave me alone. I'm gonna have to say, I think that the first shadow was either the shadow of Peggy or somebody there,
or like Jane's shadow of her taking a picture.
That's what it looks like. Now the thing behind there, the glowy eyes thing, I don't know what that was.
I don't even want to think about that.
April of 2015, Jane Harris is contacted by a producer about appearing on a new TV show with Peggy. In December of the same year, Jane and Simon flew out to Las Vegas, but Peggy was shipped out beforehand. She was not going to bring Peggy on that plane. She said you could go via FedEx.
Fuck no. Could you imagine? She would make the whole plane crash.
That's probably what she thought. So she was like,
that's what I would think. Oh,
yeah, no, fuck that.
No, wow, that's scary.
So they are taken to Zach Bagans' museum to film for Deadly Possessions. Is it Bagans or is it Baggins?
Oh, Zach
Bagans, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Or is it Zach Baggins?
I thought it was. We might have to look that up and put it in later.
Oh, well.
Zach. Ghost Adventures, right?
Yeah, if I'm saying your name wrong, I'm sorry, dude. So Baggins makes a comment that he thinks Peggy may not like the attention, and Harris and Baggins are essentially like immediately attacked by flies.
Oh, whoa,
Yeah.
that's weird. Is
Mhm.
there footage of that?
Yeah, you can actually watch this episode if you have a Discovery Plus subscription, as your girl does. Got to watch her TLC shows. But it is season 1, episode 3.
Did
If
you watch
anybody
it?
wants to watch it, yes, I did.
Oh, I want to
And
watch it now.
there's flies.
Yeah, you see Zach getting attacked by flies.
Oh.
Oh yeah, the flies, they like come out of nowhere. They like make comments that like they don't even like really have flies like that in Vegas.
Oh, that's
So, and then this actually happens a second time later on when Jane is giving an interview in Paris. The interviewer, he also starts to get attacked by flies when they're talking about Peggy.
huh.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So Baggins also mentions that this is common in demonic presence. Katrin was also invited to be interviewed about her experience with Peggy. And also the actor Keith, who played the butler Theodore, that's like always opening the door, he suffered a stroke New Year's Eve. And although Peggy was the last object that he had encountered, some say that it was because he was mocking Robert the doll while they were filming in October.
Oop. Look, guys, we don't mock the dolls.
We don't make fun of the dolls. John.
It's just don't make fun. Oh, John.
I'm not making fun of her. I'm just telling her, listen, come at me.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord. No, you'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't have beef with Peggy.
Are you sure about that?
He says now.
Yeah, he says now that he doesn't
John-
want to suffer a stroke.
John, is that a fly on your forehead?
Nope.
No.
No, it's not.
A fly appeared anywhere in my house right now.
I think I might quit the podcast. Episode
Sorry,
4.
guys, we're done.
4 episodes in.
So there's also one more interesting encounter that happens. So now we're in February of 2016. Jane is reached out to by like a training paranormal investigator named Olivia Taylor, who's requesting to do a lone vigil with Peggy.
Oh, alone.
Girl,
Oh.
she wants to be alone with this doll.
No.
Wow. Okay.
So Jane agrees only if Olivia agrees to like a health screening and conducts the vigil in like a neutral location.
Fair.
She's like, I don't want you dropping dead on my watch, girl. Olivia agrees, and while in the days waiting for the results, Hazel Myers calls Jane to ask about updates on Peggy and to share a dream that she had about the doll, saying, I had a dream. Someone whispered in my ear saying, wait and see what I can do.
Peggy.
Peggy, girl.
Peggy's about to fuck some shit up.
Peggy's like, I have the power and I'm going to show everybody. Damn, Pegs.
Peggy said, fuck around and find out.
She really did.
Basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's been on a tirade for what, 2 years now? Maybe longer.
Yeah. And Hazel Meyer claims that it was in like a very mocking tone. So she essentially said, fuck around and find out.
Look, Pegs, no one's fucking around with you anymore.
But yet
So-
this woman wants to do some with her in a room by herself.
Yeah. So Olivia later is then set up in a hotel to conduct her vigil. She spends 6 hours alone with nothing more than fluctuating temperatures when she starts to feel pins and needles in her arm. She asks Peggy if she's responsible and gets a sudden sharp pain in her head, and the room was spinning. At this point, she calls Jane, but doesn't remember saying anything and blacks out. The next thing she remembers are paramedics coming into the room with Jane and Simon, then waking up in the hospital the next day. She didn't suffer any permanent damage, but
Thankfully that she went through that health screening first.
yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah, she probably would have keeled over.
So in April of 2016, the episode of Deadly Possession airs, and Twitter is going wild with reports of
Wow.
people experiencing physical reactions.
What the heck, man?
One claimed that their mother suffered an aneurysm. Katrin ends up back in the hospital after watching the episode with stroke-like symptoms.
Listen, Katrin, girl, Just let it go.
Stop watching the fucking
You
episodes.
posted on fucking Facebook or wherever the fuck you did. She had a heart attack, and now has an aneurysm or stroke.
I bet she posted about that too before she had
Yeah,
it.
for real.
Mhm. She was on
LOL.
the Twitterverse.
Kiki, my head hurts.
So
Sorry, Nichole.
are you okay there?
I just imagine Lexi went Kiki, and I just imagine her like writing after her post little XD.
XD.
I don't know why it made me giggle. Go ahead.
Okay. So January of 2017, Jane gets an email from Zach Bagans asking how she felt about letting Zach look after Peggy.
Wow, Zachy poo.
And also, I don't think I mentioned this, but Zach Bagans has a really big fear of dolls.
I didn't know that.
And he
Yeah,
wants to
he-
willingly do this.
Yeah.
I mean, so far it seems like one of the most haunted dolls
Mhm.
in probably the
If-
world.
If you watch the episode of Deadly Possessions, Peggy's brought out with like a black sack over her head because
Guys,
Zach Bagans asked her to keep that sack on, and then like after he took it off, he was like, "Okay, but can you make sure the doll's like facing away from me?"
Bitch, I'd be pissed off too. Get that
That
sack
is-
off my head.
stop putting things on this doll's head. Like,
For
come
real.
on now.
I
No
feel like
wonder
she
why.
wants to be a star, and she's probably like really pissed off.
Stop covering my face.
Mhm.
Mhm. So after thinking about it for a few days, Jane agrees, and Peggy is then sent to Las Vegas, where she is still on display in her own room in his museum.
In Zach's museum.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know he had one in LA.
No,
Vegas,
it's
I'm
in
sorry.
it's in Las Vegas, and it is open to the public, and you are free to go and meet Peggy for yourself.
Nichole, can we go?
I don't know, man.
Can we go? If any of our listeners want to go with us, go with me, please.
I don't know if I want to go to his museum.
I'd rather stick needles in my eyes. No. No. Hard pass.
Mhm.
Sorry,
Where-
pigs.
We're a paranormal podcast, John.
No, okay. We're a paranormal podcast, but I'm not a paranormal person. I'm here for the giggles and the fun, and not Peggy.
I don't know if I want to meet Peggy in person. If she's giving me headaches just from like looking at her online all week,
Yeah.
do I want
I
to
get
meet her in
that.
person?
I get that.
John couldn't even look at a photo of her.
I didn't
Yeah.
watch that video.
So what do
That's
you guys think of Peggy?
really fascinating. I have never heard that story before. John?
I have also never heard that story, and I usually have an aversion to any sort of doll. So immediately when I saw that picture, I was very uncomfortable. I thought the way that Peggy looks is very interesting. Like
Yeah.
it's not what I expected, and I
Does
was taken aback.
Does she feel like she has really human? I mean, obviously it's a doll, so no matter what, it's going to have a human representation, but her demeanor to her, like there's this humanoid kind of feel to her that
Yeah.
I don't get from other dolls usually.
Nope.
Yeah.
She had vibes, and I
Mhm.
wasn't feeling them.
And Nichole, I swear that in that video that we watched, her expression changed.
It
From the
did.
initial part, or at least from the first picture that we watched, she was frowning in that video.
I think so.
I've never seen that before.
But
I watch a lot
do
of scary
love that
shit.
she's kind of like an attention seeker, which girl, I get it. Same.
She's a little bit of an attention whore.
She
Mhm.
wants to be the center of attention, and I am very glad that she's probably getting that right now in that museum. And like, good for
That's-
you, girl.
That's a good point. Maybe I
is a good
calmed her
point.
down.
He is like a legit situation.
She is.
Hmm.
I do
Yeah.
100% believe that she is haunted with something. I don't know what. They say that there's two spirits inside of her. One is a woman,
Ooh.
and then like one a man that was like much darker feeling. But I don't know. Like when I look at Peggy, I don't necessarily get like evil vibes. I definitely get uncomfortable and I get headaches, but I feel like she just like wants to be with the peoples.
Maybe that split possession thing is what's holding it back from being an
Truly
all-time.
evil.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've looked at a picture in a long time that made me feel that uncomfortable. So there's absolutely some kind of energy behind her. And obviously the energy from the attention that she's getting is adding on to whatever strength that she has, because everyone's kind of getting worked up about it. So naturally it's going to start manifesting some form of energy in her on top of what was already there. So I don't know.
Oh.
Just imagine like you know how uncomfortable you get just looking at a picture of like Peggy online. Imagine the feeling you'd get if you like went in person.
Ooh, the
How
heebie-jeebies.
uncomfortable that would be. I don't know if I could be in the same room as her.
I would absolutely do it.
Girl, have fun. Me and John will be waiting outside.
Outside.
Listen, I'll have a glass of champagne or mimosa in my hand.
I'll
We'll
be
be on
ready
the
for it.
strip.
We'll be on the strip. Come find us.
But I do respect Peggy. I respect her need for attention. Cause same girl.
Respect is a good word.
I am curious if they are ever going to find out like more info about the two ghosts, like the two entities that potentially could be like possessing
Why don't you go and
her.
ask?
No, I don't care that much actually. I'd like to know like just flippantly.
I would like to have a follow-up story though, if everyone's down on that.
Thanks for tuning in. That's all we have on Peggy the Doll. We hope that we didn't scare you too much. If you actually have met Peggy yourself or had some kind of encounter, do let us know on all of our socials at Scare Me Straight, where you can also continue the discussion. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and follow us on most podcast platforms. Stay spooky, bitches. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, bitches.